Welcome back to another fun-filled show. I'm your host. He is Blanchard, aka Free Blanche, aka Blanstradamus, aka Blanchy Kruger. It's another case right here. A young man named Elijah Mackey. Today's title is Seeds of Programming. Elijah Mackey. This is yet another young man, another young black male who is the seed of programming. Now, this programming comes from Satan. And I find it very sad because the enemy is clever. And this whole race thing that the devil has created is, the only way to break free from this is through Christ. That is the only way. The programming is too intense, and it's reinforced by everything we see around us. And I keep asking people, what are the consequences of years of programming? What are the consequences? What are the spiritual consequences? What are the political consequences? What are the social consequences? What are the financial consequences? What are the consequences of years of programming? No one's giving me an answer, but I believe we see the answer every day. They're talking about black fatigue now, but I believe that we're beyond black fatigue. I think we are, again, being ushered into the reign of the Antichrist. Anyway, on the bottom ticker, I have a verse, Genesis chapter 4, verse 7. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And so this scripture is basically saying that if you do well, if you follow God, won't you be accepted? And if you don't do well, meaning you're disobedient, then sin is waiting for you. And I like how God describes sin as a person. His desire is to rule over thee. Then he says, and thou shalt rule over him. In other words, God is giving Cain an affirmation. You shall rule over the sin. Like words of encouragement, But as we see, the first part of the scripture has been rejected. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted. And the problem is that black people are not concerned with being accepted by God. They are not concerned with pleasing God. They are not concerned with doing what is right. They are concerned with being right. And again, this thing we call sin, is not exclusive to black people. I want to be clear. I want to be very clear that this sin is not exclusive to black people. But the problem is that black culture, the culture that black people follow, is a culture that is anti-God. It is an anti-Christ culture. So that means that the majority of black people, the vast majority, are following Satan and don't even know it. But let's get back to Elijah Mackey.
Elijah Mackey in an orange jumpsuit and cuffs, making a first appearance in court Friday. He's charged with first-degree premeditated murder. Osceola County deputies say it was all over a fast food customer complaining about his meal. A witness said he was possibly asking for mayo packets. The arrest affidavit says Wesley Robertson asked to speak with the manager several times after ordering from the front window at Checkers Wednesday night. Deputies say that's when Mackey climbed out of a drive-through window, walked around the side of the building, and started arguing with Robertson. According to an arrest report, that's when Robertson used derogatory language to insult Mackey, and in response, Mackey pulled a gun out of his waistband and shot Robertson in the chest. He fell headfirst into the building. The employee ran.
Now, let me ask you all a question. What would make this young man so mad that he would climb through the window? So that means the customer asked to speak with the manager. Obviously, Mackey wasn't letting him. Mackey climbs through the window and goes on the side of the building to confront this man after he left. Now, my question is, prior to this, the witnesses did not say that this man was insulting Mackey at all. So what do you think made Mackey this upset? Was he just having a bad day? You don't think that customers give him a hard time at a fast food restaurant all the time? Like, he works at a fast food restaurant. What I'm saying is that it's normal for customers to complain at a fast food restaurant. It is standard. It's normal for customers to talk crazy to you at a fast food restaurant. My question for you all is, what made this time so different? What made this day so different? He was having a bad day? You mean to tell me he's at work with a firearm in his waistband? What are we doing? What made this young man so upset from this guy asking for the manager? I'll tell you. It comes from years of programming, years of propaganda, years of conditioning, years of being told that white people are inherently racist, that white people are inherently evil, that white people inherently don't respect you and don't like you and could care less about you. We're talking about years of programming. So when you finally have a conversation with a white person, you all want me to believe that all those years of programming are able to be turned off. You all want to convince me that Black people are able to compartmentalize the programming from reality. I don't buy it. He was upset because the guy was white. He was so upset that he climbed through the window and went around the building to confront him. We'll play it again.
Pursuant to Arthur at no bond.
23-year-old Elijah Mackey in an orange jumpsuit and cuffs, making a first appearance in court Friday. He's charged with first-degree premeditated murder. Osceola County deputies say it was all over a fast food customer complaining about his meal. A witness said he was possibly asking for mayo packets. The arrest affidavit says Wesley Robertson asked to speak with the manager several times after ordering from the front window at Checkers Wednesday night. Deputies say that's when Mackey climbed out of a drive-through window, walked around the side of the building, and started arguing with Robertson. According to an arrest report, that's when Robertson used derogatory language to insult Mackey, and in response, Mackey pulled a gun out of his waistband and shot Robertson in the chest. He fell headfirst into the building. The employee ran toward the slingshot ride and then to Celebration Suites nearby.
So I want you all to think about how that went from 0 to 100. And you all want to convince me that a person that has consumed programming and propaganda for 23 years is seeing this white man for who he actually is. You mean to tell me that this person that's been under programming for 23 years, programming, propaganda, conditioning, affirmed by friends, affirmed by family, affirmed by the church, affirmed by the political party, affirmed by media, affirmed by Hollywood. You mean to tell me that this guy saw this interaction with this white man as an isolated incident? This man climbed through the window to get to this man.
Car. Investigators say he shot and killed 23-year-old Elijah Mackey in handcuffs, escorted by Osceola deputies into the back of a deputy patrol car. Investigators say he shot and killed 51-year-old Wesley Robertson after an argument over his food order.
They got sheriff, they got troopers, they got city. Something happened at Checkers. It's got to be serious because there's yellow tape everywhere.
Witness Michael Beecraft and a friend were staying at a hotel nearby when they started hearing sirens. Investigators say the shooting happened Wednesday night, just after 10 o'clock.
We didn't hear no gunshots, but we heard a helicopter clearly. And so we kept, we started following the police.
On Thursday, the restaurant was closed with a sign on the order window and some caution tape blocking off the drive-thru.
It's getting crazy nowadays with the kids and the guns. If they're not calling 911, they're pulling out a gun. That's how it is now.
That guy, I want to show this. He was dead when he shot him point blank, I'm assuming in the chest. But look at the damage he did to the wall. He just fell forward head first and cracked the outside tile of the wall. Maybe it's made cheap, I don't know, but so this young man went from serving this guy food to killing him. And you all want to convince me that it's just an isolated incident. Black people can't be racist. Nobody actually looks up the crime statistics on how many times Black people attack white people. They won't even look it up. They won't even look it up. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted. And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. So what is God saying? God is saying that you have to master sin. That means you have to deprogram yourself. You have to be born again. You have to be born again. You have to deprogram yourself. You are not going to go to heaven being programmed by globalists and communists. I can assure you, you're not. You are not going to go to heaven being programmed. I can assure you that you are not.
Employee an expletive, and the male employee pulled out a small handgun.
Versus Elijah Mackey.
Deputies say this man, 23-year-old Elijah Mackey, is the Checkers worker who shot and killed a customer over a food order. He showed no emotion during his first appearance this afternoon, charged with the murder of Wesley Robertson.
The defendant will be held pursuant to Arthur at no bond that can be taken up with an appropriate motion with the division judge.
The affidavit for arrest warrant gives details from two witnesses who were also at the Checkers Old Town in Kissimmee. They give similar accounts. One says in part, the customer began complaining about his order. A male employee came around the right side of the building and began an argument with the customer. The customer called the employee an expletive, and the male employee pulled out a small handgun. The second witness said in part, the male was possibly asking for mayonnaise packets. Expletives were heard. The employee pulled out a gun and shot him.
We spent some time at the Checkers this afternoon. It's open. There weren't too many customers, and the management would not speak with.
He killed this man. One witness says this man was asking for mayonnaise packets. Now, most Black people will justify what he did because they're going to ask, well, what did the white guy say to him? This is what most Black folks are going to ask, as if it matters. I don't care what the white guy said to him. I don't care what he said to him. I don't care. We talked about his mama, his grandmother. I don't care. I'm telling you, there's no justification for this because he killed this man because he was white. This guy works at a fast food restaurant. He deals with customers that are belligerent and crazy every single day. This is nothing new. This is par for the course, especially at a Checkers. Especially at a Checkers. You can't make me believe that this young man shot this guy just because he had a bad day or because he felt threatened. This boy climbed out the window to get him. And he did it because he was white. And I keep talking about this anti-white agenda. And it keeps going over people's heads. The majority of black people, there are 42 million black people in America, 42 million. The majority of them are already programmed. And it's intensified over the past 5 years.
James McDaniel at a Quick Trip minutes later.
News on 6's Reagan Ledbetter is live with the new details from prosecutors. Reagan.
Greg and Lori, District Attorney Steve Kunzweiler says based on the evidence, they believe Guilford shot both men because they were white. Now, Oklahoma's hate crime is called malicious intimidation or harassment, which is a misdemeanor.
The information suggests that race played a role in it. I feel like that's something that we can prove, and would be something that a judge or jury obviously needs to listen to. So we'll present that information along with everything else.
Guilford is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder for killing Hathcock and McDaniel, and 2 counts of shooting with intent to kill for shooting at 2 QT employees who were not hurt. Investigators say Guilford shot both men in the head from behind. They say Guilford continued to shoot McDaniel after he was already on the ground and even reloaded his gun and shot McDaniel in the head again. Guilford is being held without bond in the Tulsa County Jail, and prosecutors say that's needed in order to keep people safe.
Whenever you're talking about a dynamic where the safety of the public is at risk, in my mind, somebody who's killing somebody or doing harm towards somebody who they don't know, that really amps things up.
So I want you to think about this guy killing 2 random people, executing them. One of the guys, he stood over, reloaded the gun, stood over him and shot him some more. Like, where does this type of rage and anger come from? Where does it come from? I'll tell you, from programming, from years of programming. There's one video where the police pull up on him and he says, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I'm the one that did it. He wasn't trying to hide. He was out chilling. He wasn't even hiding. He was out chilling, talking with people. And told the police, yeah, I did it. Now, how do you go from executing 2 people, shooting at some Quick Trip employees, and then acting like nothing happened? I'm telling you all that the effects of this programming is a reprobate mind. It is a reprobate mind. And these people telling you that black people cannot be racist is a lie. They're telling you this so that when they do stuff like this, you'll say it's not because of race. And I'm telling you, the majority of the time, it's because of race. If a white person disagrees with a black person, they say it's racism. Do you know how much rage is pent up inside of a black person that's been through a lifetime of programming, being told that everything that's bad is because of white people? And now with social media, the programming has intensified to just hyperspeed, warp speed. We're talking about cramming in a century's worth of programming in a couple of years with social media. Nobody's even talking about what this programming propaganda is doing to a person that's consuming it every day, all day on their phone. And then when they put their phone down, they see it on TV. And then when they're not watching TV, they see it in a movie, or they go and they see it at church, or their friends are talking about it. Everywhere they go, the programming is alive and well, reaffirming what they already are programmed to believe. Someone said there never was a black organization or some black organization that was created to go after and kill black people. I mean, white people. And I would argue and say, you don't need one. You don't need an organized group to go after white people. That's a black group that's organized to go after white people, because the program is spread out between 42 million people. 42 million people being programmed is way worse than a group that's a small segment of a population. 42 million people being programmed is way worse than a group that is made up of a very small segment of the population running around going after people. 42 million random people is a lot worse, because you don't know who's who. This guy got killed at Checkers. These two guys got killed at the gas station. I saw one where the lady set the gas station employee on fire. And she said it was because she is white. So 42 million people programmed, randomly committing acts of violence is a lot worse than a centralized, small, organized group. It's not even close. It's not even close.
Lot on the 29th and Joy is gone. Bridge. Video from a convenience store.
My heart is broke. I never thought that this would happen to Gavin or any of my kids.
Gavin Melchor's family says it's hard to imagine a life without him. They're now determined to find out who the men are seen in this surveillance video, beating the 24-year-old to his death.
It's a small world, so we're hoping that someone knows someone or can just find it in their heart to make a call.
Around 1 a.m. on March 2nd, police got a call about an assault at a strip center parking lot on the 2900 block of Westbridge. Video from a convenience store shows the moment Gavin Melchor was shoved into the side of a car and on the ground by an unknown male in the white shirt. You see another male in a dark hooded sweatshirt kick Melchor in the head. Gavin's family says he was walking home and had just visited the convenience store ATM.
I don't, like I said, I don't know what was said between them. It angers me because I know there was a lot of people standing around, and, you know, in these days people love to record and love.
That often do we get this type of call to a family? You could have not spoken to us. What made you want to call us and to hear you guys out?
To me, it's very important that people know how good of a person my son was, how undeserving he was of this, and I wanted to.
So not only, and this is tragic, obviously it's all tragic, but not only did people stand by and watch, nobody intervened, nobody stopped them. You know, Making Conservatism Look Cool said that he's never been corrected by a black person using a racial slur towards a white person. And as I think in my life, I haven't either. You have two people that have lived combined a long time and have never been checked for using a racial slur against or about a white person. And then you see here, this young man is getting beat to death in front of, nobody does anything. Nobody does anything. And then to add insult to injury, when he's deceased, nobody even has the decency or courtesy to even come forward and say, I witnessed it, I saw it. Let me guess, no snitching? You know that 50% of the homicides in the black community go unsolved. 50% go unsolved.
To really put it out there so that it could be on the news and people on social media, somebody may know one of those individuals and come forward with any information.
It's just sad and it's tragic. So this is my plea to the Black community. My plea is, I don't care how you feel about any of this. You are still going to be held accountable by God. So you have to make sure that what you are consumed by and what you are believing in, you better hope that God agrees. Because if God disagrees, you know what that means. I'm going to say it again. If God does not agree with you, you know what that means. This is why we must have a renewed mind, because our minds are supposed to be Christ-like. We have to renew our minds. And if you are Black, you have to do it because you are under intense and immense programming. If thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. You must conquer sin. And it is a sin to look at another person, regardless of their skin color. It is a sin to look at them and accuse them of something that you have no proof that they did. The Bible says that Satan is the accuser of his brother. So we have a whole nation of people in America, almost 42 million, accusing white people for doing something that they have no experience of or knowledge about, because none of us lived back during that time period. I pray for the victim's family. I pray for Elijah Mackey's family. And I pray for all of the families who have lost loved ones due to people allowing Satan to have his way in their life. Thank y'all for tuning in.